Good morning. Good morning. This is Teresa at Memory Bound, and I'm here with Cinde Grant. She is our guest video person today. I don't know what to call it, guest speaker, guest demo, guest person. And we're here at Memory Bound in Ankeny, Iowa on this beautiful Monday morning. And Cinde, tell us what you're going to work on today, just briefly, and then I have a little announcement.
Oh, sure. It's just a little crafty, basically, it's like a folio page insert. The original was made out of Tim Holtz backdrops, but I've rescaled it for a couple different sizes. So we're going to be working on one that's about using 6x8 um, paper pack,
Okay,
which would be helpful. So
great.
yeah,
Now people are jumping on. Okay, there we go. Good morning, everyone. Wow, the comments are flying by. Everyone jumped on at the same time. I
there we
think
go.
they're not used to us being, they're used to 8:31, so they jump on at 8:31. So good morning, Donna from Bakersfield. Good morning, crafty friends from Barbara. Yes, hi from Ohio. All right, good. Everyone's jumping on. I'm just going to say again, this is Cinde Grant, and she is our guest crafter today. How about that, guest crafter?
There you
I like
go.
that
I
better than
like it.
presenter.
Yeah, it sounds so
So,
formal.
yes.
And if anybody knows me, formal, yeah, that's not me. So it's
Okay.
all good.
So people are jumping on. So I do want to have one announcement. Cinde, if you can just hold this.
Yeah.
We had a video on Friday, but just to tell you about, instead of Merry Makers this year, we decided to do something different. And this is what we're doing. It's called December Moments Junk Journal. I love the junk journal. And so we have a junk journal in there, and it is, the price is on the back. It's $65.99. I couldn't remember if there was a 99. There's always a 99, you know. So it's $65.99. It comes in this fabulous zip file, and you get instructions and you get lots and lots of goodies. Oh, you can see there's a Tim Holtz stamp stencil that you get, some 49 and Market stuff, a binder, and lots of instruction. There's a private Facebook group that you will be able to get onto after you purchase the kit. And that is going to be in November. Let's see what the dates are.
I'm sorry. I flipped it
Let
around
me
on
look,
you.
I'll flip it here. Um, okay, November 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Oh, excellent.
Yes. And again, it's something that you can go back and watch later. Um, okay, so good morning. Oh, someone got their memory bound package and played all weekend. Yay, that's fun to hear. All right, and Bev is excited to see what you do, Cinde.
Oh,
So
thank
if
you.
you want to join our fun junk journal, then you can order that and get ready for the November 3rd start date. But you can always go back if November 3rd doesn't work for you or any of those dates, you can go back and watch us later. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We've done a lot of junk journal. Cinde, do you do junk journal ever?
That's all I do.
Yes. See? Oh, well, Cinde, you
Yeah.
need to join us. It's going to
Yeah.
be fun
Yeah.
to junk journal our December. I'm very excited because I've done lots of December dailies, but I've never
Mm-hmm.
done a junk one before.
Oh, that'd be
So,
see, that's right up
um,
my alley.
yeah. So the instructors are Kelly, of course, Katie, Diane, and myself.
Yay.
So it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys will join us. So,
Perfect.
all right. Well, we got a lot of people jumping on here. So, and then Janet's here as well, and she did link to the kit. So thank you, Janet, and welcome, Janet, as well. So I'm going to go ahead and let Cinde start.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, this is I'd like to say my own creation, but I was inspired by one of my crafty makers, junk journal makers that I watch on YouTube. It's Crafty by Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Her name is Tony Tickner, and it's one that she made last year. She does a Halloween every year because Halloween's her jam, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I made the original one she made out of Tim Holtz backdrops. So it's like 6 by 10.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the original that was made.
So do you want
Uh,
do you want me to go to down cam now?
yeah, that'd be
Okay.
fine.
All right.
That's fine. So this is the original that was made from last year's Tim Holtz
Cool.
backdrops.
I know Diane loves Crafty by Tim. She got me following her.
And so I've got a lot. It flips and there's flips, and then there's a pocket here, and then you open it up, and there's another pocket here, which is kind of an option, and there's a pocket here,
Okay.
and then there's a long page tab, which I'll kind of show you real quick how I make these. But the whole point, yes, you could, if you wanted to, sew a signature in here with some coffee dyed paper or something. It could be something freestanding, okay? But the point of it is to put it in your junk journal as a page insert and
Oh.
to attach it, glue it down one side across the bottom, put it in here. So now you've got a pocket here, and here's your pocket tab. So that's, you know, but you can do it a couple different ways. So this is the original. Tony, I know you don't do, you know, Facebook that often, but if you hear it, it's all you, girl. I mean, this is it. But what I did, I took inspiration from that original. Here is one done. This is what the one that we're going to create for Christmas is just going to be very bare. It's not going to be as decorated, but this is just using the backdrops, just kind of an everyday kind of thing. Okay. So that's, but again, the 6 by 10 backdrops. Then I did one that out of some, I can't remember. This was 4th of July last year or a couple years ago. This is a 6 by 9, but I did it in a 6 by 8 size. And so I scaled it down, and the pocket, again, as you can see, there's cheating, 5 different papers. Okay, so that's that one. And then I also did a 5 by 7 size, cut it down, cut 6 by 8s down into a 5 by 7 size. These are my little cheat sheets, and you'll see it helps me to visualize. But then you've got the pocket here, and then the back for if you have a smaller journal. The one that I'm going to show you that we're going to craft for today is actually this. This is the prototype, and it's using the Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Believe, this 6 by 8 pad, and one package of the Simple Stories bits and pieces. Okay. And it's got 62 pieces in it. And you're going to get 2 of this size out of 1 of these and 1 of this. So it all depends on how much you want to embellish and craft, and because you get 2 of each of the sheets. So yeah, it's kind of a fun thing. It's kind of a fun thing. So
And what was the size of that? The
6 by 8. So if you
Okay.
take a journal, so if you've got a 6 by 8 journal, again, you put it in here, and you just, you know, again, glue it down the top and the bottom side, down the spine side, and you've got a pocket to put in, you know, other things. I'm all about tabs hanging out, tops and bottoms and sides, and all that type of thing. So, but yeah, it's very adjustable. So let's say your journal is, you know, 7 by whatever. I mean, you can adjust this once you get the basics of it done. You can make these tabs smaller or bigger or that type of thing. So
Yeah. I was just looking, I just went and got the journal that we're
yep,
using. That's what we're using for for
that's fine. Let's see how it fits in there.
for the junk journal
It's
class,
it's
and you can probably make one for that. That's what
oh
I'm
yeah.
already thinking. Can I
So
make one to put in my junk journal?
so you know it's
It's
going
a
to
little
stick
big.
out, but here's the 5 by 7 size.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
So what I will do is when I leave here Teresa, is I've got
Oh, a
this is
cheat sheet.
this is kind of
Awesome.
a cheat sheet that, you know, the original size, which
Sizes.
is the backdrops,
Yeah.
the 6x8 size, which is this one, and the 5x7 size, which is this one. And it tells you, you know, you can use a paper pad.
Yeah.
You can also cut these if you've got 12x12 pieces of
Yeah, you can
paper.
cut them down.
Excuse me, I like the paper pads just because they're scaled, smaller,
Yeah.
for one thing. Plus, you've got isn't as much waste. If you can get one of these out of one 12x12. I mean, I've done the math kind of thing, but then it all looks the same.
Yeah.
Which, but if you have other paper, or if you use digital, you know, some people are into using digital papers and that type of thing. You could use a plain white or craft cardstock and cover it, you know, to make it look different. But that point notwithstanding. But yeah, I will leave this,
Great.
Teresa, when I'm done, in case anybody has any questions. You can reach out to Memory Bound, and yeah, and that'll be good. So, but
All
yeah,
right.
that would be a great
Yeah.
size for
I think I want to do one already. And
that.
I've just seen.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's easy to do.
Oh,
You're
and
going to show us.
and it is. And so this one, you've got the flap opens here.
That's really
The
cute.
flap opens here. I've got some of these cutout. Oh, there's a star that got in there. Some of the cutouts, you get tags on one of the pages. So I did, you know, some of the, you know, here's a holiday traditions. Here's a peace and joy that I just did a ticket corner punch. And then on the back, I made a little tuck spot out of a label that I had, and put it on with one of Tim Holtz's tiny paper clips. And then this is just a little piece of coffee dyed paper and I just took one of the labels and tuck it underneath there. And let's see if I can get this paper clip on here. And that just is, you know, in the pocket in the front, you know, type thing. So we've got that. And at the end, I'm gonna show you guys how I make these little charms. And I'll leave one of these here, at Memory Bound. If you're in the area and you want to stop by, they're real simple to make, and I think you'll really enjoy those. And then you open it up. I went ahead and took one of the 3x4 cards to make a tuck spot. I also, you'll see there's some glitter. I took a page out of Diane's, who here at Memory Bound. She has a glitter mix, and I'm like, I love Diane's glitter mix. But Cindy came up with her own glitter mix, which is really Diane's. It's like one part of the regular rock candy, the Tim Holtz Distress rock candy, one part of the diamond dust. Not sure, floral craft. They've got it here. One part of the diamond dust glitter, and then one part of the rock candy chunky glitter that
The
I
new
mixed
stuff.
together. And I just did a little spoon of one of each, you know, and then that's my glitter mix. So anyway, so that's that. But I've got this little tuck spot here, and I took again one of the little cut aparts and put a tab on it. This tab, it's the Vasson Creates whale tail punch, the regular size whale tail punch. I have this one, but I also have one that's bigger, which I didn't make any, you know, for that. But there's a couple different sizes, but that's this size. I would say the regular size. But I've just got a lot of the different cut aparts that are back in here. And then there's the pocket in the back is, I've taken one of the cards, put some of the glitter on it. One of the other 4x6s is actually looks like this, that I cut, folded it in half, rounded the corners, and made it into like a little folder with a little tuck spot in the corner with one of the little tags in it. And the Wish You a Merry Christmas is just one of the two of the 4x6s put together, left together, I should say, and just folded in half. I've inked everything with Distress walnut stain, It's my favorite. It's not everybody's favorite because it can be a little dark, but it's kind of my thing. So I used that. And a lot of the different pieces of ephemera that you see are from some of the Tim Holtz stamps. I go ahead and I punch out a bunch, or excuse me, cut out a bunch and stamp with, here's one of the ones, little, oh, I hope you don't get a glare. Sorry, guys. Let's try to see if I can avoid the glare. But the 24, December 24th, the trading stamp special delivery, the snowflake one, this is a great background. This is a great background stamp if you want to just put something on to fill up space. I also used the holiday postmarks, which is another one of Tim Holtz's set. It's CMS 323. A lot of those you'll see the North Pole, Christmas delivery, and some of those around here. The postage stamp, the airmail. I love the cancellation marks. And then my favorite Tim Holtz stamp. I swear, I don't know how many times I've stamped it. Actually, I just leave it whole. I have not pulled it apart. The first few times, I just actually I'm toying with buying another set and not having it pulled apart. But this is the Curator CMS 493, the Curator snippets. You'll see the 346 used a lot, this rectangle used a lot, and some of these that are smaller. And yeah, it's probably that, and the number tidbits is probably ones that I use an awful lot that I stamp.
Cindy, someone has a question. They saw that there's sewing on it. Do you have to sew, or can you make it without sewing?
Oh, absolutely. You can make it without sewing,
Okay.
which is what we're going to do. Yes, I stitch around some of my things. If you're going to stitch, you need to think about it before you start gluing things on. Take it from me. Oops. Let's in a word, oops. But you don't have to. Sewing isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
Just remember that if you do sew with your sewing machine, go slow. Make sure you lengthen your stitch length, because it gets close together and all of a sudden you've made perforation and it just rips out. So lengthen your stitch length, widen, possibly if you're going to use a zigzag stitch, widen that out. I like keeping all my threads. They get in the way, but that's part of it. I'm okay with that, but no. And you'll see today when we put it together what it looks like without stitching. And you'll see some of it is stitched, some of it isn't. And corner rounder, that's another option. I've corner rounded these pieces, but you'll notice on the 5x7 one, I didn't. And that's fine. It again, but if you're going to stitch, do your corner rounds first and then stitch, because to stitch over fabric, or excuse me, over thread. Yeah, it was a mess here in this corner because I did that. I forgot to corner round, and yeah. So take it from, do as I say, not as I do, kind of thing. So yeah, but it's not the end of the world. Junk journals, I like vintage. I like distressing. I like grunging. So I don't care, but if that's not your jam, that's absolutely, you do you. That's absolutely fine. But I'm just kind of giving you ideas. And I got to thinking as I'm doing these, Teresa, there's these slides that are in here. I should have cut those out and I would and backed them. I make my own like vintage acetate behind it, with some different alcohol inks, and to put that behind first. But you know what? That's an after the fact thing. So
Yeah.
all right, so let's get along. If you want to, excuse me, if you want to craft along with me, here's what you're going to need. Okay. For the 6x8 size, you are going to need 2 pieces of 6x8 paper. Let me see. I cheated. I have my front and backs. So I'm going to move this out of the way for just a moment. So you're going to need 2 6x8. Now I have a front and back. See, I have these, they're marked. This is so I can keep myself on the straight and narrow. So you're going to need 2 6x8 pieces of double-sided paper. Okay, it's just easier if it's double-sided. You're going to need 1 piece that's 2.5 by 8 inches for the hinge. The hinge. That's how we're going to put the front and the back together. You're going to need 1 piece that is 3 by 8. That's for the back pocket. 2.5 or 3. You know, if all you have is 2.5, make it 2.5. It's fine. You know, but I also have a hinge here that's built in. So that's what gives us that little extra. Okay. You're also going to need 2 pieces that are 3 by 4.5, which are these front flaps, and 1 piece that is 6 by 2.5, which is this bottom pocket in the front. So that's, if you're going to craft along, again, it's 2 6x8 pieces, 1 2 by 8 or 1.5 by 8. You need 1 piece that's either 2.5 or 3 by 8 for the back pocket. You need 2 pieces that are the front flaps. So those are 3 inches tall by 4.5. Also, that takes into consideration the hinge. And then 1 piece that's 2.5 by 6. So, without further ado, let's get crafted. Let's get crafted. All right. So, the first thing you're going to do is you are going to get your pieces, and my suggestion is to get everything cut, get everything scored. Just use your scoreboard, or just use your the pieces aren't that big. You can guesstimate. This is not so precise that if you're off just a little bit, it's not going to alter things. So what you're going to do again is you've got your pieces. So again, here's my front pocket, the 2.5 by 6 inches. I also punch out all the thumb pulls. I like to do that before, okay, and I use a 1.5 inch circle punch to do that. Oops, sorry if you're getting some glare. Okay, so 1.5 circle punch, that's what I use for that. Okay, the corner rounder that I use is the 7mm, so it's the middle size one. That's what I use to round the corners. So that's what they have here. There we go. Try again, try not to, there we go, get the glare. All right, so that is that. So we're going to have all of our pieces punched out, cut out, thumb punch, and inked if you're into inking. If you don't want to ink, that's fine. You don't have to. It's okay. I ink everything. I also tend to distress and score and make a mess of things, but I'm not going to do that today. All right, so here's the flaps. I've also already inked and scored. So you're going to kind of want to look at, okay, if you have directional fabric.
Paper.
I quilt too. So yeah, directional paper, bear that in mind if that is a thing for you. Some people don't care. Some people are like, oh no, that would drive me out of my mind if this was upside down. Okay, so again, you know, kind of, you know, look to see how these fit for you. All right. So we're going to use Mr. Santa for the front. So he's already inked and ready to roll. Remember the front, and then there's the back. So you've got page 2 is already, which is why I like to use the double-sided paper. So we've got that, and this also helps to keep me on track. So I know what I'm doing for which one.
And someone asked
Mm-hmm.
about the sizes, and Cindy has that sheet, and so we will definitely take a picture of it and put it, and Janet will put it on the blog, so you guys don't have to memorize the,
Yep.
or you can take a screenshot if you want.
Can you see it?
Um,
Can you see it okay? Yeah,
well,
I'm trying to get
can
it.
you pull? Yeah, there you
Is
go.
that better?
That's good.
Okay. Again, the original, that's that big one with backdrops.
Yeah.
The one we're doing today is a 6x8, and the smaller one is the 5x7.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
But yeah, I'll leave this here.
Yeah, we'll have that on the blog as well.
Okay. So we've got that. We've got the hinge. This happens to be a 2" by 8 that I've scored just in half. Sometimes with the smaller ones, like the 5x7, this is actually a 1.5" hinge that I scored at 3/4 of an inch, just in half. Again, not rocket science, guys. You don't, if one size it's a little bigger than the other, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's all good. But I have it all inked like I have. And here's my, oh, I'm sorry. I had made a mistake. This is actually cut. This is the back pocket for the 6x8. I'm going to change this. This is actually cut 3.5 inches. If you can, by 9. So you've got the sides on the gussets, but obviously on a 6x8 pad, you're not going to have 9 inches, right? So it's fine if it's 8. It's, again, not a big deal. But the 3.5 is going to give us that extra little gusset at the bottom. If you don't like that, or you don't want to mess with it, then just do it 3x8. It's fine. That's the finished size, 3x8. So we're going to add that to the size. So I'll have to make sure I do that. And then we're going to use this piece for the back. So what we're going to do first, we've already got everything cut. We're making the assumption we're going to cut. Everything is corner rounded if you want to. Everything is inked and everything is scored. All right. So once that is all done, now we're going to attach the front to the back. We're going to attach the front to the back with the hinge. I'm going to be using Barely Art glue. It's my go-to. It's what I use all the time. This just little thing will make sure it doesn't dry up on me.
We don't have the Barely Art anymore, but you could probably use Nuvo or Art Glitter
Yep.
Glue.
Yep. Whatever your favorite wet glue is. Some people will actually use Glossy Accents or the bottles of the collage medium, so whatever your favorite wet glue. I prefer, you could do it with score tape if you wanted to, but remember, if you're using score tape, you have zero wiggle room. So that goes down, and you have no, if it's not exactly where it needs to be, it's down. So sometimes, depending on what I do, I will use a little score tape, but for this particular project, I want to use wet glue. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to move all these other little pieces out of my way, and we are going to decide, we're going to put front to back, and we're going to match it up. Now, my way, excuse me, I like to do the back first, then the front. Don't ask me why. I just do. It's a thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll say, hey, it's because I'm left-handed. I don't know. I have no idea, guys, if it's because I'm left-handed. But what I'm going to do is, this is my front. So I'm going to take the side that's on the back, that's going to be attached to the back, and I'm going to run some glue all along. Not going to be wild with it. I mean, it's like whatever. Okay. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it up with the bottom of my page and the top of my page. I don't know if you can see, hopefully, I can bend it back. You can.
Carla says she puts a little liquid glue on her score tape so she has some wiggle room.
You know
That's
what?
interesting, Carla. Good tip.
I've done that before, and you're absolutely right. It does give you that little bit of extra time to be able to scooch things about, shall we say.
Yeah, I like score tape, so I'll probably
So
use score
yeah,
tape.
that's a great hint and perfect. So that's, you've got the hinge that's on the back, and I like to go ahead and put this together before I start embellishing with all the pockets, because then the flappies don't get in my way. It's just easier for me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some glue here, and then I'm going to flip this over, and then I'm going to match things up. And then instead of trying to go like this and, oh, did I get it just right? Yeah, I just do it this way. It's easier for me. Some people will also corner around these inside edges. That's fine. Or tag notch them with like a tag punch. Just take those corners off, so it makes just a little decorative, a little more decorative. That's absolutely fine. Whatever makes you happy. So I'm gonna and sometimes I'll just stand it up and look at it and go, yeah, I think that might be good. Okay. And then I'll just kind of lightly lay it down, look at it, match up my front and back, come up here, match up my front and back, get it. And I'll even do this. I'll tap it on the table and get those edges together. And so now we've got our front and our back. Ta-da! Yeah, it's fun. It's all good. So now we've got this together. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the back pocket piece. So the piece that's 3.5 by 8. It's already been scored at a 1/2 inch. So all my scores for the flaps are, I've got a 1/2 inch. That's the hinge, or how I'm going to attach it. All right. And then I like to take my scissors and just give it just a quick little miter. Nobody's going to see it. It just helps to kind of take those little pieces off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to glue along here, and we are going to attach it. Aha, see, look at my corners are not rounded. This is where I got into trouble when I was sewing, is the back pocket. So we're just going to put a little glue on that flap. And you can always dry fit everything. What I mean by that is you can take paper clips or binder clips and fold everything and kind of attach everything on it before you start gluing, to see if it's exactly how you'd like it. Okay, so I'm going to just take this, my fingers, and I'm going to, now notice I just did that side flap. I haven't glued the top and the bottom. So we're going to do that. Make sure we're good here. I usually take my little bone folder and burnish that edge down, so that's good. And done. So now once that is done, then I can take my glue or your double stick tape. I just want to make sure that, being left-handed, I want to make sure I'm not blocking your vision of what I'm doing. Down the sides, and then again, fold it up. Take your bone folder, whatever you have. Good with your fingers, go ahead and do that. And back pocket, done. So now we're basically on to the front flaps and the front pocket, and then you're going to be completed with this. Okay, so we've got, here's our front. Here is our front guy. Hello, Mr. Santa. Okay. I feel like I'm moving this piece of Teflon around. No, it's just one of those things. All right, so what we're going to do is, here's my pieces. is I'm going to,
Somebody said they like the piece in the middle on the inside. A lot of times you'll put it on the outside, but
uh-huh,
it does look nice on the
yeah.
inside. What do
It's
you
just
call that? The
the
hinge.
hinge.
Yeah, they like the hinge on
Yep.
the inside.
It's just something different. I didn't want to
Yeah,
take away
right.
from the paper. But as you can see, we're going to put some flaps and things on it, so you won't see a lot of it, but still, I do it both ways, but I happen to like it in this particular fashion.
Yeah, it looks
Um,
nice.
just because then I can, if I don't get them quite together, this covers a multitude of sins because then you don't see the gap.
Hmm.
Then this would be just, but again, that's my thing, but great thought. Okay, so what we're going to do, and I find that if I can start this way, I've got my front flap here, and we're going to do the flaps on the fronts the same as we did for the pocket in the back, in the fact that I'm going to just kind of clip off small little triangle on both of them. It just kind of eliminates that bulk, and sometimes Cindy has found that if she does this, and sometimes this little corner can sometimes peek out here. If you snip it off, it doesn't have the opportunity. So again, method to my madness. Now, you're going to go, well, okay, well, how far from the top do you put them, and how far from the bottom, and how far do you overlap them? And all I'm going to say is yes. It I overlap them just a little bit. I kind of eyeball it. I'll lay them out here, and I'll put the bottom pocket, and I may put the bottom pocket on first. Oh, hello. Okay. Um, I may put the bottom pocket on first because it's fairly easy, because you don't want them too far and you don't want them, too close together this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, and one of the things another reason that I like to take my thumb notch punches out right away is because I know which end not to glue. Again, personal experience. So I'm just going to go around the side and along the bottom. Again, if I were going to use tape on this, I'd use 1/8 inch score tape. I'd use 1/8 inch score tape. I wouldn't use 1/4 inch for the pockets. I'd use 1/8 inch for this one. Especially for those sides where you don't have a lot of room. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to line it up at the bottom. I'm going to line it up at the bottom, and we're just going to burnish it down. If you get a little glue seepage, that's fine. I tend to go around my projects with my whatever color I'm using, typically walnut stain, when I'm done, just because, just to kind of get rid of some of those. If your edges didn't line up, you'd be surprised that how much doing that will kind of hide your mistakes or perceived mistakes. So now I'm going to take these two flaps, and I'm just going to kind of overlap them, because I like the fact that we open it up and there's Santa. So he's kind of like, surprise. So I'm going to kind of take this, and I'm going to aim for the line that is in between the piece of paper. So that's kind of my guesstimate of where I want the top one to go, because I like the grungy paper, rip paper behind. I like that. All right, so we're going to put that one on first. And again, just put a little glue.
And again, you're using the Simple Vintage Believe 6x8 paper pack for this one, but you could use any paper that you have, like you showed the ones in the beginning from
Yeah.
other paper packs.
Any paper packs, any holiday, no holiday, any Valentine will be coming up. Yeah, I know. Just a winter, with some blues and silvers, and that would be fun. That type of thing. Summer, vacation, beach, whatever. It doesn't matter. So what I've done is I just glued that on, kind of lined it up. I'll take and burnish that fold. So we've got this flap on, just like that. And now I'll take the second one and put it on here and kind of line it up and go, okay, what do I want to see? What do I not want to see? I kind of want to see the baubles on the tree a little bit. Again, this isn't, as long as you're not covering up your bottom pocket, because it kind of defeats the purpose. You know, you can have this as far, or, you got his hand down here and some gifts. You've got the baubles on the trees, whatever you want to do. And you've got a little glue here. And if you have all your pieces cut out, this is where it's just so easy to put together. Now you're going to want to line your score line, the ink line up with the edge. Come on, there we go. With the edge of your page. Okay, so I'm going to open this out just a hair. So will help me. And we're going to put it on the edge of the page. And I'm going to scooch it down just a hair. Scooch it out to the side. Perfect.
Cindy, is there a reason why you put a hinge on the back pocket but not the front pocket?
Because I could have, but they would had to have been a separate piece because the paper is only 6 inches wide.
Oh.
So,
but on the bottom you could have put one.
I could have put one on the bottom if I wanted to, or I could have taken this and cut that pocket instead of going vertically across a 6 by 8 page. I could have done this and gone, horizontally and gone vertically and added the hinges that way as well. It's up to you. The finished size of the pocket, 2.5 by 6. But if you want to cut it from, maybe you have 12 by 12 paper and you want to use that, you could cut this 3 inches by 7. Yeah, math. So I would add a 1/2 inch on either side. So 3.5 inches. No, yeah, 3.5 inches by 6.5, and then you've got your sides. I use a 1/2 inch. Some people use 1/4 inches. So how much you like to work with math, I'll let you, you kind of do that. So sometimes I can do it off the top of my head, sometimes not so much. So, but if you'd want to do it from a piece and do it that way, go for it. I just didn't, just for the ease of simplicity of being able to do that. Okay, guys, I don't have my corner rounder with me, so this is going to drive me out of my mind if I don't round these corners. So I'm just going to take my scissors and follow the corners that are there. Okay. Okay. OCD. It's a terrible thing. So now you're ready to decorate. You're done. You're ready to decorate. So one of the things that I like to do is, again, in this paper pack, you'll find, let me see if I can grab out all my pieces. There is a piece in here that has tickets. It's the black kind of toil print, and it's got tickets on the back. You could cut all these little tickets out and you'd have tickets for days. It'd be great. There is a piece that, here's my tickets. Here's the cut aparts that you can cut apart and use. Here are these small tags that you've seen, cut apart and use. Here are the 2 3 by 4 cards that you could take and cut apart and use. So you've got a lot of different options when it comes to decorating, which we aren't going to decorate today, except for the one thing that I'm going to show you.
Rhonda says she has scraps that she's wanted to use and would be perfect for this. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
if
awesome,
you have
Rhonda.
leftover from a tablet or something, a 6 by 8 tablet, or even 12 by 12, yeah,
Oh,
perfect.
that's awesome. This is a perfect, I don't want to call it a scrap buster, but a scrap buster. So I'm going to put a long page tab on here. And I've made a bunch of different tabs. This one is using the whale tail, using that Fastens Create. Here's one that's using the EK Success, just the tab punch. Let's see if I can find one that I haven't decorated here. No, that's not it. There's one hiding in here. There it is. That I used, so it's just your typical tag punch. And these other ones are longer ones that I made out of strips of leftover pattern paper. And I used the punch that I used for the corner to make that corner. I call it my shoulder punch, and I'll show you why. And then this is just one that I just happened to take a piece of paper and I kind of offset it. So one side is longer than the other. So that's that. So what I do, and this shoulder punch, and it's okay to laugh, because I'm all about it and it's cool, and is because it's this punch by We Are Memory Makers. Okay, We Are Makers, excuse me. And it's this one right here. And it looks like a shoulder. It looks like somebody's shoulder. That's why I call it a shoulder punch. But that punch gives you that.
Oh,
Okay. So that punch, hopefully, I'm sorry, my thumb's in the way. That punch right there gives you that. And let's see here. I do have mine with me. Let me see if I can do one real quick for you. It's, again, I typically cut mine. You can make them as wide as you want. This is 1.5 inches, or excuse me, yes, 1.5 inches. So this is 3/4 of an inch. But you can make these wider. You can make and as long as you want. Okay. And all you need is, let me see if I can grab just here, we'll just use this one. We'll use this piece of paper. I have no idea. This is probably 1.5 inches wide. I'm going to guess. All right. And I don't have my scoreboard with me, but notice I don't care. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just going to take it and I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to burnish that top down. No, I don't care that the trees, if I'm going to put it on a page this way, that they're, upside down, whatever. But if I'm going to put it on it, the vertical, the vertical might show. So here it is. I'm going to turn it over. I've got my shoulder. I'm going to put it in here. There's one. There's two. And now I have another tag, another tab, a longer one for a page.
that
So
looks really slick.
So you're not limited. You can also take the corner rounder, the little baby one, the little, what is it? 4mm, the little tiny one. And, you can round the corners down here if you want. You can also do this and make it and use the vertical, excuse me, the diagonal tag punch and make this more of a tag type thing, and put it on your project. So you don't be limited by, oh, well, this is the only punch I have. Well, if this is the only punch you have, rock on, go for it, make it, do your thing with it. I'm just trying to show you some different options of what you might be able to do, because what we're going to do is we're going to put this one on the back page, and it's going to be another tab that when you put it on in your junk journal that you have. But I like things that stick out, whether it's tag tops at the top or tabs at the side or the bottom. I like that look. Some people don't, and that's okay, but some people do. I find the easiest way when I'm putting these long ones on is, and I'll do these on projects that are, this is maybe not necessarily going to be glued down in a journal. So you'll see this other side, but that's just a blank canvas for you to decorate. So I'm going to put this on. I'm going to line up the little indentation of the shoulder with the back of the page. And Here we go. So that's on. And then here, there's a lot of different ideas. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Some people will leave this open and they'll use it as a tuck. They'll glue down the side, okay? And or they'll glue down, you know, the side and then maybe underneath the decoration and then leave this piece open. So you've got another little tuck. That's another thought. But I'm going to just take my glue and we're just going to glue things down because that's how I like it. And I also like to put punch holes and hang charms. Put in um, eyelets and use the bulb pins and make my own charms and hang those. So we're going to put that there. And where I would punch the hole would be right here. And I'd use a small, I would use like an 1/8 inch, small eyelet. And you just put that on there. So now you've got this extra little piece. Oh, I've got string, cheesecloth. That's what all this is behind there. And I've used Tim Holtz, the sellotape, you know, type thing. I also make my own sellotape, but in this particular project, I use this because it sands. It sands really, really well. So I use that, and so that's really it. So now it's to the point where you can decorate, make yourself clusters, make yourself things. Oh, I want to make this into a booklet. I want to do this, or I want to do that. And now you've got this blank canvas to work with. You can put tabs on here like I did. On one of them, I've put magnets or Velcro to keep these down. But you got to make sure, because I didn't want to cover up Santa, you know, but when you do that, okay, it's going to show here, it's going to show here. So what are you going to put over the top? Are you going to put a piece of ephemera to cover it up over the top or over here? You know, how are you going to do that type thing? Also the clear Velcro can work, but again, you're going to see it. I just, in this particular instance, left mine without. And as you work with it and you manipulate it, it'll lay flat. But I am going to show you one thing. And this isn't part of the craft along with me, but I thought maybe you might want to see it. I made these charms. And as you can see, there are some of them, and I don't know if you can get that. It looks like a Christmas tree. Sorry, it's getting
Just
a little
hold
bit.
it. You're not in. Maybe move it up to the camera a little bit more.
Like that. Can you
It's
see?
hard to see it.
Yeah, but what it is, it's the tops of one of these trees. Okay, so
Okay, I see it now.
it's the top of one of those trees. I also have a stamp that I did a 25 for. If you're gonna stamp, use archival ink or use like the VersaFine Claire in trying to think what the red is. This is lumberjack. The lumberjack plaid bled on me. Lumberjack plaid is my favorite red, and rustic green is my favorite green for Christmas. Love them. This is, I think it's strawberry. Anyway, but use or red geranium archival, but use something, because when you put the glossy accents or the Nouveau crystal glaze inside of it, it'll start to bleed. But the rest of these are all, I'm going to try to put them in my hand, are all scraps, pieces of paper. That's all it is. That's all it is. what I did is I got from a local big box craft store. I'm not going to say say any names. These are 12 millimeter silver split rings, and I grunged them up. Some are a little grungier than others, with gravel alcohol ink and mushroom alcohol ink. I have those little small little portion cups that are what about as wide as the top of this. So whatever this is, what is that? About maybe 2 inches, inch and 3/4. Right? So they're little plastic. And it's the same thing I do when I alcohol ink my baubles and my pearls. Okay. And I put in a couple drops of gravel. I put in a couple drops of mushroom. I put a bunch of these in because some of these, when I got them, they were like bright, bright silver, silver, silver. And I just put them in there, shake it around, put them out on a piece of parchment paper or something and let it dry. And that's how I got them to be grungy. All right. So what you do is you take your piece of paper. We're going to do one. We're going to do hollies and berries. Okay. And it's like, and this is in it. And we're going to take some glossy accents, liquid glossy accents. Again, this is what I use. Some people do it with Nouveau Crystal Glaze, which is cool. I've seen people that actually take they do the whole resin thing with the light and the stuff. It's like, that's too much for me. If I have to do that, it's not going to happen. So I use the glossy accents, and you just take it. It's a glue, but it's also going to dry clear. And you just fill. Let's see if it'll. Oh, of course it won't. So let me take my glue pin. It. There we go. It is going to dry clear, and I fill up. And you're not. I'm okay. I'll try to do it off the side. I put the ring down, and I'm just going to squeeze glossy accents in here until I filled it up. And it's going to look cloudy. And I kind of fill it up so it kind of gives it a little bubble at the top. I don't want to say bubble, but it's a little bit of a raise to the top, because as it dries, it will the glue will dry, and it'll sink. It'll I don't know what the word is, guys. I'm sure you all do, but it will then turn into something like this. All right. And you need to let it dry. When I do this, I do it and I sit them away. I let them sit overnight. This way I know they're dry. Some people will try to dry them. I find if I try to dry them with wouldn't want to dry it with an embossing gun. You would want to use a heat tool if you were to dry it, but I just let it sit. And I just usually I have a whole tray. I have these little, look like cookie sheets, and it's like 6x9. They're made for toaster ovens. And this is what I put on when I go through and dump out my ephemera out of the packet. And I'm like, okay, what do I want to use? And I put on my cookie sheet the things that I think I might want to use. But I have 3 or 4 of these. I got them again at a box store that is more discounted.
But I want to show you these Tim Holtz jump rings that we can use. Those
Excellent.
are the right size to do this ephemera trick in.
Yep. The bigger ones.
Those, and maybe Janet can link that.
Yep.
And Janet, is it possible that you can link the 3-way decorative punch? Someone requested that. It's the one with the shoulder thing. I looked, and we do have them online, but if you could link that for me, Janet, that would be great. And also if you could link these jump rings, because they would be the perfect size for this.
They're just a hair smaller, but it's 6 of one, half dozen the other. Really,
it's going to work.
Yeah, it's going to be fine. and even the smaller ones, but you'd have to have, they're going to give a smaller, um, obviously diameter, but it'd still be stinking cute. Like a star in one of these. Now, the one thing that I have not tried to do, but I've heard people have done it, is they've put glitter down first and then put the glossy accents or the Nouveau Crystal Glaze, excuse me, on it, first and then top it. But I haven't tried that. So if y'all do, let me know how that works out. Because I like glitter. I like a little glitter. I'm not a big glitter person, but certain times of the year, yes, Christmas is one of them. Certain times of the year, that's um, I like a little glitter. I thought about taking some of my mix and making some gravel or some mushroom um, of my glitter mix, but it kind of defeats the purpose, I think, of glitter. The whole purpose is to have it be fun and joyful and make a mess in your craft room, because that's what I'm about. You wouldn't even want to see my craft room. But anyway, so I'm gonna leave that here. So tomorrow morning, when the girls come in and see this, and they can take just a pair of scissors. I just take my scissors, just my scissors, and kind of cut around the bottom. But the glue, the glossy accents or the Nouveau Crystal Glaze, is going to glue down the ring, so it's not going to fall off.
So
So
Melissa asked about if a book ring, and that would probably be too big. And it also has the hinge on it that
yeah,
would get in the way. These jump rings, they're just solid round. So
yeah.
a diamond dust sprinkling, maybe with your little mister thing, that might work just to add
Hmm.
a little bit on top.
Yep.
Yeah, you can make your own gems. Good idea,
Yeah,
Diane.
just something that this
It's
way
fun
that
to add.
they go with your project.
It matches.
Yeah,
Matchy
it's all
matchy.
matchy, matchy, matchy. It all kind of goes with your project. So now you've got a piece here. It's, you can make your page tabs and put them, in your junk journal as a pocket, or not. Don't have to use it as pocket. You can glue the whole thing straight on, and that's absolutely fine. If I were to put this one in here, I personally, because I like things sticking out, I'd stick that out at the edge of the page, just because that's me. I don't know. Let me see if I can scoot that over there. I'd stick that out at the end of that craft page, so that when you saw it, when you close the book, this is what you would see. This is my kind of junk. I mean, literally junk. I use junk all the time. But so yeah, that. That's one of the things. And I did bring a couple other things that I've been kind of crafting and working on.
I was just going to tell you, people love your clusters. There are all
Oh,
kinds of comments about how
thank
much they
you.
like
Yeah,
those.
those are fun.
Yeah.
The one thing, it took me a long time to get over myself. And I say that in the most loving way to myself. Um, I can be very linear and I can be very perfection. I'm a quilter, so my corners match. I'm just saying, okay? So when I make clusters, don't think about it. Just kind of put things together, or put things on, a tab. And it's like, okay, I want this to go here, and I want maybe this to go here. And if it sticks off the top of your tab, fine, so be it. And I want, a star to go here, or what, and then just kind of, if you want to, that's how I had to start. I had to lay it out and go, okay, that'll work. And so then I would go in, and sometimes I'll take my camera and I'll take a picture of it. So, so I know what I put where. Yes, I do that. And then I ink, and then I distress, and then I do all the things, and I get my cheesecloth out. I dye my cheesecloth like Maggie dyes her ribbon, her seam binding. I take white cheesecloth and spray it with distress spray, or I'll take the ink pad and smush it and put water in it, and I make my different colors of cheesecloth. But I'll put that down there. I'll use ribbon, or I'll use seam binding, or I'll use hunks of frayed fabric, or what have you, old doilies, crocheted doilies. Pull them apart and rip them apart if they're not a family heirloom. Okay, let's say you go thrifting, or you go, garage sailing, or whatever you call that in your area, and cut it apart and rip it apart and put it down and put this on top of here. If you use fabric on your things, on your projects, just a tip, I use a glue called Fabri-Tac. It tends to hold a little better even
We
than
have
my
a
Duraline.
liquid glue
Do you
here
have
for fabric. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. So it's just a thought. So
It's from Tombow.
oh, okay, perfect. There you go. Textile fabric. Something that's going to give it a little more to hold. And if you're gluing fabric onto anything that's shiny, or anything like Tim Holtz layers that have that gloss kind of on it, take a sanding disc or something and just kind of take off just a little bit off the top, so it gives the glue something to grab onto, and so it doesn't just slide. Okay, so it doesn't just slide. All right, but great. Tombow Mono Textile Liquid Glue. Ooh, this is awesome. This is cool. It's $5.49 for this bottle. That's awesome. Broad tip. Let me see. I'm reading, guys. I'm reading. You can do fabric bonding it to glue, or to glass, wood, canvas. Awesome. And it dries clear. It dries clear. Yeah. That's a win for me. Perfect. 2 different applicator, a wider tip and a narrower tip. Excellent. Excellent. So a couple of the other little things that I've been working on, and Tim Holtz showed this, I think it was last year, in his holiday hoopla he made. But last year I used his mini clipboards, and I made clipboards out of, well, I cut my own tiles. These are 1.5-inch tiles, collage tiles. Used to be able to buy collage tiles, but the Ideology brand, here's the mini clipboard. Um, they've discontinued those, so that's fine. I cut my own. So these are some of the ones from.
Well,
You
they
can
didn't
see.
discontinue the clipboards. They
No, I'm
discontinued the
sorry.
paper that you're using.
Thank you, Teresa.
We have clipboards for
we
sale.
have clipboards.
Yes.
Clipboards. But the collage tiles were.
Yeah, but you can use any paper.
Any paper. And these I happen to cut 1.5 inches, because I believe originally that's the size that the collage tiles were. And I just glued these down with collage medium. And then I got some of the, I love me some ravens, and put those on as well. And then brushed collage medium on top, let it dry completely. And then I went in with, you see some of the spots that are a little darker than others, with walnut stain distress crayon, and did that. But he has a whole piece in his holiday hoopla, I think it was last year, on how he did it. You take off this, all you have to do is unscrew. It's a Phillips screw. These hitch ball, anyway, and they come off. So you take this piece off. You can also distress this with, if you want to, let's say with the white distress crayon, and distress that as well. I just left it. This year I did a Christmas one, and this is one that I used. He has collage strips. Okay, and I usually get a couple packages. One package I keep whole, the other package I tend to cut apart. All right, so I put, and the middle piece, I always kind of leave the middle. I start from the outside in, just because then you can line it up on the edge and there's not as much cutting that you have to do. And then the ones in the middle, if it's a little bigger than the sizes, well, then it just covers up the seam, which is kind of what I did here. I covered up some seams with maybe that were a little bigger, with some of the ephemera and just put that there. But you can see where I've done uh, the walnut stain crayon. Put it on. If you get your finger just a little bit damp, you don't want it wet, and it just rubs in. And it also will cover a multitude of sins. When if you've missed a spot, you can cover things up and rub it in and that type of thing. So they sit on my desk. This one sits on my desk and I have a little list of like Halloween projects, and then this one will do the same thing at Christmas. So
Very cute.
these are ones that I just made.
Heidi has a question if we're going to have the enamel trays this year, and Diane is looking right now to see, Heidi, I don't think we have any order, but she's looking to see if we can get some. So, all right.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Any questions about the folio today,
or the little projects, or anything else that you want to take a little look at? This is the one that we made. Here's the one with all the foo la la on it, shall we say?
And we'll have pictures of these on our blog that Janet will post in a couple days. So all right.
So there we go.
Oh, sorry, Heidi, we cannot get the trays.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry about that. So
I hate discontinue.
They were discontinued. Yeah.
Those were cool. Those were very, very cool. But
okay.
Well, thank you so much for letting me be part of your crafty morning. Hopefully you came away with just a little bit of inspiration for something, whether it's making the folio or the little flippy flappy page insert, whatever you want to call it, or maybe it's just how do you make those little charms? How did that happen? Or oh well, that clipboard was kind of a cool, whatever it is. Or it's like, you know what, I can use that. I can use a little punch. I can make my little tabs, and I can do all sorts of things with them. So just thank you for letting me be a part of your day. And
I enjoyed it.
I look forward to coming back again.
Yep. And just a reminder, we have our junk journal class. Instead of Merry Makers, we're doing a junk journal this year. So Cindy's project would be perfect, the smaller version, because we're using a Bristol journal that you get, and they're $65.99. Those are online. It's going to be November 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And there's a special Facebook page. And tomorrow we are going to have Chris doing some Christmas tags. So that's very fun. So thank you, Cindy, very much. Everyone loved your project. I can't wait to look at the measurements and go make one myself.
Very easy.
And put it in my Christmas junk journal.
Oh, that'll be
fun. Mine's going to go right in there.
That'll be fun.
So, all right. Well, thank you. Have a crafty day, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
I gotta